Hello, we're the Briscoes from Celebration Church in Thomasville, and we wanted to share some things that we feel Christ has been encouraging us with over the last couple weeks, and hopes that it encourages you as well.
So the Bible reading plan that I'm using, I'm in Hosea, I just finished Hosea, and I really felt like kind of the word that the Lord laid on my heart came from that book. And in there, in chapter 13, Hosea is reminding the Israelites that, the Lord is the one that brought you out of Egypt. He provided for you and took care of you, just like he's doing for us right now in this crisis. But then in verse 6, it says, "But when you had eaten and were satisfied, then you became proud and forgot me." Pastor Jimmy reminded us this morning that in times of crisis, we can run to God or we can run from God. And so as Christians, hopefully our first instinct is to run to God. But even in those times, sometimes I'll wake up and I'll have my devotion first thing in the morning and I'll be like, all right, Lord, we're going to do things your way today. And it's not long before I realize that that's not what I'm doing. And so when I think I have control, I don't really. And so just like the Israelites, when we become satisfied and full, we can take our eyes off him. And so just a reminder that as you go through your day, that it's a constant thing to look to him, to remember who our provider is and where our help comes from. And so that's kind of the word that I had.
One thing I wanted to share with you is just the thought, during these times we're going through right now are crazy. Unlike anything we've ever seen before. And you hear on TV, I hear at work, I hear everywhere you go, they reference this time as uncertain times, which I have too. So one thing that I felt like Christ really revealed to me, specifically last weekend, was the fact that these times and any time we're in, as long as we have a relationship with him, are very certain. We talk about these times on earth as being uncertain, and they are on earth, but again, as in our relationship with him, they've never been more certain. They've always been certain. They're always going to be certain. And one verse that popular verse, but again, I felt like he was speaking to me specifically with this verse is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him shall have everlasting life, right? Shall not perish, shall have everlasting life. To me, that promise is very certain, and as Christians, we have to lean on that, and we have to stand firm on that certainty, especially during these uncertain times. I feel like one other thing that he's been encouraging me with, and really just teaching me over the last couple of weeks, specifically again with these times we're in, these uncertain times, is how to be rooted and how to be stable during these times. And I think he's specifically shown me an example of trees as to how to do that. It's a great metaphor for us as believers and as followers of Christ. You talk about trees. Trees are deeply rooted. They have access, especially when they have access to water. They are healthy. They produce fruit when they're deeply rooted and healthy and have access to water, and they flourish. During storms, when a storm comes around, trees are blown wildly. The branches fly all over the place, leaves fly all over the place. If you watch specifically during hurricanes or tropical storms, you think the trunks of these trees are going to bend over and touch the ground, but they don't break. They don't break because they're healthy. They're deeply rooted. They're soaking up the water that's been provided to them, and they're soaking up the sunshine, and they're healthy. So during these times we're in, we have to be deeply rooted in the Word. We have to be deeply rooted and soaking up the nourishment that God's given us through that Word, so that we're going to bear fruit and be healthy, specifically during these troubled times. The last verse I want to leave you with is Jeremiah 17:8. They are like trees planted along a riverbank with the roots that reach deep into the water. Such trees are not bothered by the heat or worried by long months of drought. Their leaves stay green and they never stop producing fruit. Word of encouragement we want to leave you with today. Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.